That's why any man who owns a piece of land and then he builds a shack on top of that land, he goes and drink alcohol somewhere. When he comes back drunk, he stands next to that shack and say, "This is my place." So people who own have got a sense of pride, and we want you to have a sense of pride. We want each and every black person to have a home, to have a land. There is too much land here. You must be given land, and we have been fighting for you to be given land, and that's why white people hate us, because we are fighting for you to get land and have your own properties. So, asijiki on the issue of the land, because when you have land, everything comes. So fighters, let's go out there and protect our women and protect children, because there is a continuation of abuse of women and children. These people have gone so mad, they even rape and kill 8-year-olds. We as Mpagati must rise and say, you are not going to kill in our name. In our community, there shouldn't be anyone who gets raped. If anything, a man who sees a woman at night must accompany that woman to a home and make sure she's safe, because we are not a banana republic. We are people who are self-respecting. And when you are self-respecting and when you have self-love, you will love the next person. So let us not go around impressing these people that these ones don't know anything. They rape each other. They are barbarics. You are proving them right by doing wrong things. So we must go and tell our grannies there at home that ANC goes around saying, if EFF gets into government, is going to take over SASA. You will no longer get your 350. You will no longer get your social grants. It's a lie. It's a pure lie. Tina, we are not going to stop the 350. We are going to pay you according to your qualification. If you don't have matric, uzothala nge 350. From matric upwards, 2,000. When you get your first degree, 5,000. When you get your honors, 6,000. Because we cannot be given 350 the same way. We who go to school must be paid. To go to school should mean money. Because they don't give you a job, they must give you money. And if they don't want to give you money, they must give you a job. They say to you, go to school, go to school. You go to school, when you come back, there is no job and there is nothing for you. In the EFF, because we are graduates ourselves and we know what it means to be a graduate and be unemployed. That's why we are introducing the graduation fund, that once a child goes to school, that child will go to school, and if he doesn't get a job, he will be paid for having gone to school. That's why today young people don't want to go to school. They tell you, after going to school, so what? Because so and so is rich. So and so didn't get matric mark. He's driving BMW. So this thing of school doesn't pay. That's why they don't want to go. We need to change the mentality. People must go to school. When they graduate, they must get into work. They must get into business. If those opportunities are not there, therefore, we have to pay them. Because you can't say people must go to school and you do nothing about it. It means you are punishing them. Every time when they look at that certificate, they are pained seeing people who didn't go to school being successful even before them. So we need a government that cares. That's why social grants will protect it and will increase it, because it's the immediate way of fighting poverty. We cannot fight poverty with this small money that they are giving to our children. The child money must be doubled, and these children must get free uniform to school, because we must not give our children clothes that are torn and then you say to them, go to school. The government must cancel all different uniforms, and then we have one national uniform, and our children must be given that uniform the way we are giving them food at school, the way we are giving them books at school. We must give them shoes, because a child who goes to school without shoes, his concentration gets affected. A child who goes to school and the uniform is not in good condition, his concentration gets affected. So a child must not worry with anything. A child must just be a child. I've got uniform, I've got shoes, I've got feeding scheme, I've got books, our teachers are teaching us. That's how a child must be, because no single child of a white person is complaining about shoes. There's no singing. That's why they pass better than us. Because the only problem they have is to learn. When you must learn and then finish quickly to go and hustle for food, because there is no food at home. But once we put your conditions better, they are going to see that we actually think much better than them. Look at us surviving under the conditions we are. If conditions get improved, we will even be much better. So, fighters, I'm not here to speak for long today, because I'm here to invite you to the stadium, Moses Mabhida Stadium. We want to see all of you there, because we are making history. We are going to fill up that Moses Mabhida. Whether they like it or not, they must be prepared to have an overflow, because Mabhida is going to be full with the KZN people only. We are not bringing any bus from outside, because we want to show them that there is EFF in KZN, and that EFF is strong and is ready to take the ANC out of power. When you leave Moses Mabhida, or when you watch it from a TV, you must leave there highly confident and ready to go into the elections. Ramaphosa must give us the date, because we are ready to remove him. So we are Saba Manji. Afunu keep it date, election date. We want it. He wants to be a dictator. He wants to die in office. It's not going to happen here in South Africa. Whether he likes it or not, we are going to elections in May, and we are going to remove Ramaphosa, and nothing will happen. Because Ramaphosa is not a black person. He's just black outside and white inside. He loves white people more than he loves black people. Let the black nation of South Africa get an opportunity after 30 years to govern South Africa, because white people have been governing South Africa through the ANC for the past 30 years. The reason why white people don't want us is because they know you can't control the EFF. The EFF, when a white man walks in arrogantly and he finds an EFF t-shirt, that white man behaves immediately, because they know that the EFF doesn't play with people who undermine black people. So we are going to put the government of black people in the union building and remove this government that is controlled from outside, that is controlled by white monopoly capital. We must make sure we go out, all of us, in our numbers to vote for the EFF. That day, we don't start by drinking. Drinking is very destructive. How about you want to do something nice? You start by doing the work first. After doing the work, we are and thank yourself that I have worked for my country. Because the election is not too much work. You just dress up and wear your high heels and put makeups and red lips and walk there. When you arrive, you just put a cross and then go back without sweating. And if you are brave like me, you go to the ANC table and say, Sevenzi. They don't know what you mean by that. Sevenzi. And for real, you would have worked, because when the results come out, they will know, oh, Sevenzi lament were being removed from government. So please, let's go and vote for this organization and remove the corrupt that are controlled by the whites. The corrupt Ramaphosa is the most corrupt man, more worse than Jacob Zuma. But these ones of the papers don't write that Ramaphosa is corrupt and worse than Jacob Zuma. When he came in, he said he's going to fight corruption. He said no corrupt person will be in government. All those people in his government, Zondo Commission said they are corrupt. How do you have 90 people in leadership of the ANC? They are in the Zondo Commission, they are implicated under Ramaphosa. Whereas Ramaphosa goes and takes dollars and hide them under the mattress. Hide them under the mattress. The mattress was not enough. He went to hide them in the couches. Yet, the newspapers will say, hey, Ramaphosa is a clean man. Hey, Ramaphosa this and that. We don't have anything against Ramaphosa. He is corrupt. We didn't send him to go and put money under the mattress. So, let's go and vote against money under the mattress. When you go to vote, you must know that you don't have a flushing toilet. How can a self-respecting person going to vote, when you go to vote, before you leave the house, where Kijimoti, hey, let me go to the toilet. You get into the toilet, you see the condition of your toilet. After that, wash hands, go and vote. and then you want to pretend like you don't know what is the problem. You just saw the problem now. And because you are voting like that in the past, this has never changed. If you want things to change, change your vote. You can't keep on voting the same way and expect things to change. So let's go out there. Let's make sure that we vote. And then those of you, Abazali, if a child refuses to go and register to vote, you must treat that child the same way you are treating a child who refused to go to school. Because voting and schooling are the most responsible thing that everybody must do. So a person who says, I can't register to vote, you must know that person is a problem. And that person loves the ANC. So the people who love the ANC and they are disappointed with the ANC, when it's time to vote, they say, "Aye, vote for what? Vote for what?" He's angry with the ANC. And then he says, no, all of us must not vote because he loves his ANC that disturbed him. Once a person says to you, "We are not voting," you must tell that person, you are a problem. The problem starts with you. We don't want people who are saying we are not voting. We want people who say we are going to vote, and we are going to vote against the ANC, and we are going to vote against DA. They can vote for any other party, but not for these sellouts who took our government and gave it to their friends. So fighters, all of you, let's make sure today's registration and tomorrow is successful. And on Saturday, we're meeting at Moses Mabhida. It's a festival of the poor. It's a festival of black people. All of us will be in that stadium. We are of the same status. We are one big family. Let's go and show them that the EFF is powerful in KZN. After they heard that we are going to Moses Mabhida, the ANC said after our rally they are going to Moses Mabhida. The IFP said after the EFF rally we are going to Moses Mabhida. So they are all following the EFF because they know that the EFF is a leader of society. Without EFF, South Africa will be corrupt. EFF did a lot of things to defend our democracy. So let's go out in our numbers and make sure we register to vote for the EFF. And after voting for the EFF, you must know true freedom is coming the following day. We are not going to postpone the freedom of black people anymore. We want you to have your freedom and you must have it now. Amanda! Amanda! Viva EFF, viva! Viva EFF, viva!